Rahmatullah. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين بارئ الخلائق أجمعين، والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ونبينا ومولانا أبي القاسم محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين. أما بعد، إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. صلوات صل على محمد وآل محمد. Dear brothers and sisters in Iman, we are discussing a series of Islamic adab, Islamic etiquettes, and yesterday we spoke about the adab of libas. Day before yesterday we spoke about the issues of food, how to enjoy the food, and what are the adab about food. Today we are discussing adab of housekeeping. There are certain issues which we have to keep in mind when we buy a house, or when we sell a house, or when we move in to a new house, or while we are living in a house. There are certain recommendations which Prophet and Aimma alayhimu salatu wassalam have given us to keep our home kind of blessed home, and to keep the blessings and the barakat from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for our homes. So these are also important issues. I have selected a few. Of course, we don't have time where we can get into all the necessary details, but I'm selecting the major issues for your attention. The first thing which we are highly recommended by Prophet and later on Aimma alayhimu salatu wassalam emphasized a lot, that when you buy a home or when you buy a house, within your economic ability, it depends again, everybody has different budget, but try your best to buy a spacious house for yourself and for your family. So a spacious house is comfortable, and it gives you enough room where each and every member of the family can enjoy their privacy and also all their needs. We have the issues of hijab in Muslim family, and that also time to time you have visitors, you have relatives, so you need to have some privacy available at that house. Similarly, we are encouraged to not only live at our houses, but we are encouraged to spend some time in ibadat and worship also at our own houses and our own residences. Nawafil prayer, for example, are highly recommended to offer at home. And there are nightly prayers, and there are some a'mal which we are supposed to do in different months on different dates at our residences, at our home. We are also highly recommended to to invite people as guests at our home. Muslim home is a home where frequently people are coming in and going out as guests to enjoy the lunch or dinner or breakfast or some other company or events at home. So it is a house which is not only for those two or people with two children living there, but guests will be coming, relatives will be coming, and you need a spacious kind of house where you can take care of all these needs. And of course, there are certain other things also which we have to take care at our home. A place where we can have, for example, study. We have in riwayat that at the house of Amirul Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salatu wassalam, as there was a special area where he or some of the family member, although they were the neighbors of Masjid Kufa. If you have been in Kufa and if you have visited the Masjid Kufa and the house of Imam Ali, they are kind of wall to wall, next to each other. But still at the house of Amirul Mu'mineen there was an area where Amirul Mu'mineen himself or his family members would engage in nawafil, in ibadat, in recitation of Quran, in salat, in those activities. And there was an area where children or youth would gather and they would learn, they would study, and they would read. So our parents or the teachers would help them to about their education or whatever. So an area where we have study, where we have books, where we have shelves, where we have computer, the area where we are engaged, we are supposed to engage in ibadat, in worship, in nawafil, the area for guests, the area for the people of the house, something for children, the area to play. So this all needs again some space. So having a spacious home is a blessing and is a ni'mat. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when He showers His blessings upon people, when He talks about Jannat, so He talks about those very comfortable and very spacious residences prepared for mu'mineen and mu'minat inshallah in the paradise. Imam Ja'far as-Sadiq alayhi salatu wasalam says that it is a blessing for a believer that min sa'ate darihi, that the house is wasi, the house is spacious. So again, this being spacious is also different for everyone, because everybody has their different needs in the size of the family and their economical conditions, and all those things of course one has to look into. But within your budget, one should really try to go for a spacious area, spacious house, in order to provide the comfort and relief to himself, herself, and every member of the family. And instead of being very congested kind of home where children don't have enough time, enough place to maneuver or to play around, where you cannot relax, where you cannot really take a good nap or a good sleep because of all the kind of the traffic and hustle and bustle and all that. So you need to have all these needs met at your home, because home is the place where you look for peace, where you look for comfort, where you look for ease, where you look for charging again yourself and then coming out for the work. So for that reason, it is highly recommended that one should look into it and go for a spacious home. Recite a salawat. At the same time, alaykum salam, as we are talking about spacious house, right after that, the adab which is mentioned, and that also comes from ahadith and from the teachings of A'imma alayhimus salatu wassalam, that one shouldn't go more than what he or she needs. So spacious doesn't mean that one single person who is living alone or only a couple of two should go and buy a mansion, for example. A so big house that there only one or two people are living. So, or it is much more than what you need, because this is israf. This is alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. This is israf, and this is going to be called extravagance, and it is wasting the money and the resources and buying something which is much more than what you need. So it is according to your needs also. Matter of fact, the third adab which is related to this is that if it is more than what you need and it is much expensive than what you could afford, but so these were, both things were wrong, because you bought something which was much more than what you needed. It was much more expensive than what you could really comfortably afford. Both were wrong. But worse than that is that if the intention of buying this piece of property was the show off and to impress the people around in family or relatives or colleagues or co-workers, your intention of buying this very big property was that you will boast, you will brag, or it will be something which is kind of going to be very impressive, and the whole purpose was show off. Then there are ahadith that at the day of judgment, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will ask you that now you need to lift this whole big mansion with your neck. He will put you in your neck. And you poor guy has to now lift this whole mountain which you have purchased, that house of, for example, so many stories, and with that much lawn and with that much rooms and all that big mansion which you have purchased just to impress people, just to show off that you are somebody, while you didn't need really this kind of house with that many rooms, with that much land with it, and with that much all that. So if the intention was only to show off and impress other people, then it will become wabal, it will become adab, and it will become a problem for you at the day of judgment. So one has to, again, these are all issues which one has to see the needs and the resources available, at the same time convenience and comfort. So it has to be spacious, it has to be convenient, it has to be comfortable, but at the same time not much more than what you need and not much more expensive than what you can afford. Recite a salawat. The next adab which we read a lot in ahadith, and that is that one shouldn't decorate his or her house with all that kind of pictures of animals, like there is like people will make the drawings or what you call they paint the walls or pillars or the ceiling, but that is with the pictures of either human beings or animals. This is not an Islamic art. Islamic art avoids from the images and the pictures of those who are living animals or insan. If you go in churches, for example, you will see the drawings and the pictures of Mary or Jesus or wise men or all those kind of angels all flying. So it's acceptable in Christianity. So they do that. But whenever you come in the masajid, you see walls here, you see everywhere. So you don't see any of that kind of artistic work here. We have calligraphy and we have other designs, or some drawing and painting which involves the, for example, what you call the gardens, the flowers, the what you call the trees and all that kind of thing. That's fine. those designs which don't involve the images of animals or angels or humans, then that kind of decoration is fine. But decorating the house with images of insan or angel or all that, that is something which is forbidden. And particularly decorating the house, then people bring the statues, sometime from Egypt and sometime from Greece and sometime from all these other places, which are kind of sometimes they are not in a very good condition also, because they promote the nudity, or they have very explicit kind of their body figures are kind of demonstrated in a very explicit manner. And so these statues or these sort of decorative pieces are not encouraged to keep in Muslim home. Muslim home should have again the beautiful calligraphies, beautiful paintings of, for example, ocean, water, greenery, the trees, the gardens, and beautiful like structures, the scenery of those beautiful houses. There is a plenty of artwork which we can pick and choose and can bring and put in our house if we want to, but we need to avoid from bringing that what is forbidden. I think the point is clear. I was able to express this point clearly, so please recite a salawat. One thing which is highly recommended, that while, meaning again everything goes with your budget and with your needs, but there are certain things which are recommended, that if you have some extra dollars and if you want to upgrade, then you should upgrade certain things. And one of those things which is encouraged to upgrade, that is your carpeting or your floor. Because at house or at your home, you will enjoy sitting there, you will enjoy being there, you will enjoy walking there if you have a nice carpet or nice floor in your room or at your home. So if you can improve, and for example, or if when you are buying your house, you are buying your home, you are remodeling your room or your house, and if you have some money, if you want to upgrade something, that is your carpet, your floor. Back home our system is that we will not worry about this. If we can afford something, we will put the marble on the outside of our home. So most of the money goes on the marble putting in the street to impress the people that how expensive and how beautiful this home is. So home has the marble and designs and everything from outside, but when you enter in home, you see it is makhruba, it is a house which doesn't have anything in order, but it's all just to impress the neighbors and impress the people outside. While Islamic adab is that it should be more decorated or more comfortable or upgraded from within, inside where you are living. So that is more important part of it. So it is your carpet, and it's good to have upgraded and a better quality of carpet. There are ahadith. Matter of fact, one time Imam Hussain alayhi salatu wasalam was criticized by one of the people that who didn't know the real status of Imam. When he came in the company of Imam, he visited Imam alayhi salatu wasalam, and there were expensive and very high quality rugs spread in the house of Imam, and then there were some pillows, nice pillows, and he says, you are son of Ali, who was so zahid, that who lived so simple life, and you are house of Ali, you are son of Ali, and you have such an expensive and so nafis and beautiful carpets, rugs here spread over, and then you have such a beautiful and comfortable pillows. So Imam alayhi salatu wasalam answered, I referred to it earlier also in one of my presentations, I believe yesterday or day before yesterday, that one answer was that the time of Ali was different. In the time of Imam Ali, Muslim community in general was living in poverty or below even the line of poverty. People couldn't afford this. So we, even who could afford it, we decided not to have it for the solidarity with the masses. And we try to live at a very basic level because nobody else could afford that. But now the times have changed. The people are, alhamdulillah, blessed with the better economical conditions. People are enjoying. So when everybody has it, then why shouldn't we have? That was one answer. The second answer, Imam alayhi salatu wasalam said that when we marry, we give our woman a good mahar. We are not stingy. We don't negotiate with women when we marry them as a cunning businessman, that now we want to marry them, but we don't want to offer them any mahar or good mahar. It is a part of man's generosity and nobility that when he goes with proposal and he offers a kind of mahar to a woman, he should be kind and generous, and at his own he should make a nice offer, and a nice mahar he should offer to his proposed, for example, wife. And then our style of Ahlul Bayt is that we don't only promise, we deliver, we give cash. Most of the people, their habit is people only agree to mahar and it is never taken, it is never given. It is only a kind of offer, and only at the time of divorce, God forbid, then there will be a dispute and people will come and they say, oh, this was mahar and now we are divorced and he should pay and she should receive. But the sunnat of Prophet and the sunnat of A'imma and the recommended action is that whatever mahar you are agreeing with, you should pay. So Imam alayhi salatu wasalam says, we make a generous kind of offer for mahar and we pay. And when we pay to our wives that money upfront, then this is not our money, this is their money. And when women have money in their hand, what they do? They buy these kind of carpets, they buy these kind of pillows, they buy these kind of curtains. So then what can I do? Meaning this was not my money. I had given to my wife as mahar. She spent on buying these rugs and she spent on buying these pillows and she put these curtains. So why are you blaming me? This was her money and she used it. So, and it was halal for her also. So there were two answers given by Imam Hussain alayhi salatu wasalam to the person, and again there are lessons which we can learn even from that one answer. Recite salawat. Then it is recommended, I have mentioned it several times in my presentations here and there, that in every home there should be one area, little or big, whatever is according to the size of your home or whatever are your needs. But one area of the home should be dedicated for your ibadat or family's ibadat. So one area is the area where meaning the men or women or family together or individuals or whatever. So this area is that you have a few copies of Quran there, you have some tasbih there, you have some sajdagah there, you have some books of dua there, you have some janamaz, some musalla, some environment of kind of like that this is a place where you or your family members come down and they do their ibadat, they do their, sometime we do in our bedrooms, which is fine. It's okay to pray in your bedroom, but you will enjoy more and you will concentrate more if you come down from your bedroom into that particular room or into that particular area in your house which you have dedicated only for this purpose. That is the masjid of that house. It is actually Masjidul Dar. This portion you have given to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from your home, and this is a little masjid you have made in your own home, and you are keeping it abad, inshallah, and you come down there. So dedicating a little place, a small place or big place, as I said, according to the size of your home, according to your needs. If you can specify one area and then come down or go up there and do your ibadat, recitations of Quran, your du'as, your prayers, that is highly recommended. The next thing which is related to it, that is that make it a habit. This was the sunnat of Prophet, this was the sunnat of our A'immah, and this is highly recommended, that everyone should recite Quran on daily basis at their home. This barakat and blessings comes from the recitation of Quran at home. There is almost every household that they have copy of Quran or several copies of Quran, but sitting in the shelf, and hardly these Qurans get opened. But it is recommended by the Prophet and A'immah that you must read Quran at home. You read at masjid, that is fine. Reading masjid has its own rewards, and reading at home has its own rewards. So there is a special nur and barakat and blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for a home where Quran gets recited on daily basis. So you can recite in the morning, or you can recite in the evening, or you can recite at whatever time which is suitable to you or to your family members. But Quran should be opened and recited on daily basis at home. Now, an issue is coming which is interesting. We are debating at our home from so many months with my little ones, and today if they are here, they will be also surprised that I have taken this subject, because so far I was resisting, and now after giving this speech it will become very difficult for me to say no, and that is adopting a pet at home. So this discussion about adoption of a pet, what is Islamic standpoint on that? So far I maintain this policy at my home, for example, in last almost all the time from the beginning when we got married, and now I am father of 6 kids. So we never had any pet. These little ones who are the older ones, because mainly they were raised in Iran, so they had a little bit Iranian culture, or it was easy to explain to them certain things. Those who are now growing up in America, so it is a real challenge. I understand the issues of the parents, that how to deal with these young children. But these little ones are now insisting almost on daily basis for a pet. Particularly when they come back from school, or when they visit some of these Muslim families, and when they see some of their Muslim friends or the members of Baitul Ilm community even having pets at their home, then they bring their case as a stronger case. They say, no, for example, our that friend has, so what about us? So on this issue of adopting a pet, we have many riwayat in the ahadith of A'immah that adopting a pet and taking care of that pet in a good manner at home adds some blessings and some barakat for the family and for the home. But you will be surprised when you will see the names of pets. These are of course not going to be the pets which our children would love to have. So of course the dog is out of the discussion, because in Islamic faith you cannot adopt a dog, even if that is very clean and neat dog. So because dog is najis, and dog cannot be adopted as an adopted pet in a Muslim home. Only someone who has a farm and lives in country area and has the serious issues of what you call the safety and security. So if you want to have a dog which is what you call guard dog, which is going to be helpful in order to keep thieves away from your home, so then dog is an option, but again with so many limitations that it doesn't enter inside your home, and how you are going to maintain this issue of taharat and najasat and all that. It's kind of difficult option, but it is exception for those few people that who are in that condition. But other than that, having dog at home is not a Muslim's option for adopting. The other one which is very popular in this country, that might be the business of Hazrat Abu Huraira, and that is the to bring a cat and then be Abu Huraira. So that is something which is also not a very good option, because again it has fur and its hairs, and the cats have also habit of coming and rubbing to you and kind of sitting in your lap and touching with you and being everywhere. So the chances are that some hairs from the fur of the cat will remain on your libas, and your prayer will be questionable, and again there are certain other issues related to that. So cat is also not a good option. I am going to discuss with you the options given by the A'imma alayhimu salatu wassalam. And so the first option, there are two main options which A'imma gave, and they encouraged. One is about birds, and the bird which is highly recommended, that is a pigeon, kabutar, the pigeon one. The pigeon is highly recommended to have them at home, and particularly then there are certain kinds of pigeons, but the pigeon is a good option as a pet. And the other one are the chickens, that if you can have a few chicken, and if you can have area for them where they are comfortable, you are comfortable, so they are also very good pets, and they are useful also. They lay eggs, and they increase in numbers, and you will have your own, for example, home raised these halal chicken. So that is another good option, and we all, at least I remember that all along in my childhood we had pigeons and we had chickens and we had all these things, and it was really fun for children that to have them, and particularly we were used to make them sit on the eggs for certain days and then waiting for days, and the day was a kind of Eid, big news. It was breaking news when we would hear that now the chicks are coming out from the eggs. So excitement, children love that. So if you want to have that, these are the easier ones. The other ones are little difficult. You have to move to the farm, because then the recommendation is to have the this what you call a cow or goat or sheep, an animal that which is halal meat, and it gives the milk, and it is also a source of blessing if you want to have. So these are another pet. So goat or sheep or cow or whatever. So if you want to adopt, but you, in order to adopt that animal, you have to, of course, move to the farm. So the easier pet would be the either chickens or these pigeons or something like that. Or if you have water and water pond, then what are those ducks? The Amirul Mu'mineen, we always hear when you will hear again inshallah in his shahadat majlis that he had those ducks, and his children had ducks, and these murghabis or batakhs, they are another option. So these are the kind of pets which we can have, but it is not only that we can have, actually they are recommended one to have, that if you can have them, it's good and they are blessings. I don't know that from today when you go back to meaning this lecture will make job easier for parents or it will make job difficult for some parents. But because I am discussing this, so I had to discuss. Otherwise, if
nowadays it was issue.
Yeah, it is issue, and also meaning this is a debate which we are having at our home from almost now 1 year, and from 1 year we are kind of postponing and discouraging our little children, but we are coming to a point where now we have to have a pet, and I think the pet can be pigeon or pet can be a chicken. Recite a salawat. One more salawat. Many of us have this desire and habit of this remodeling and renovations. So the ahadith are saying that if you need it, really you need, then that's fine. But don't do it as a fashion or because other people are doing. Remodeling and renovation is a big pain. And it brings, you don't know what you discover and what it will be. So it's a painful process. One should go only through it when really you need it. Otherwise, don't get into it. And the similar advice is that don't move from one home to the other until really you need it. Again, don't do it as a fashion. Don't do it because everybody else is doing. You do it. It is a very painful process to move from one place to the other with your all the house belonging and with your family. Then the issues are that to neighbors, the friends for yourself and your children, and so many other things are involved. So moving from one place to other is also something that which one should do very carefully, and one should do only when it is necessary. Another thing which is highly recommended, and that is to keep your house from within and from around clean and neat. So your house shouldn't be dirty, not from, and it shouldn't be dirty from within or from the surroundings. It should be clean, neat, presentable. It is extremely discouraged and makruh to keep the dirty dishes sitting in the sink or in the kitchen or in the rooms, in the basement, in other areas, and waiting for the weekend or for the other day or something like that. So the system should be that dirty dishes or used dishes should be washed as soon as possible. Don't keep them sitting in your sink or in your kitchen or in your rooms. They are makruh, and the riwayat are telling that they bring some economical hardships also in result. So if you keep your house fixed and clean and neat and dishes also clean, it helps inshallah the bless, you get more blessing and you get more barakat inshallah from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But or similar, sometimes people will not vacuum, or if they vacuum, they will gather all the what is this called, kuda, garbage, just sitting somewhere in home. So if you have garbage, collect it, put it in the garbage bag and put it outside wherever you are supposed to put, but don't keep it within the kitchen or within the home. So it should be on the other side. That is not good thing for a Muslim home. Next thing is for blessing and barakat and for benefit. It is highly recommended that turn on the lights before sunset or before it gets dark. So I remember as a child that this was a tradition that, and it was highly recommended and enforced by the parents and grandparents. They would make sure that you turn on the lights, or if when we didn't have, there was a time we never had electricity. So, and then the lamps. So it was from late afternoon, somebody was assigned at home to make sure that the lamps are ready, everything is, you have put the kerosene oil in it, or everything is fine, and then on the time comes, you make sure the lamp is on before the house gets dark. So it is still recommended. Now we don't have those hassles. We just have one plug to pull on or off. So the light should be on before it gets dark or before sunset. The next masala is explaining that as long as there is light, the sunlight or moonlight, and if you don't need any further light, then it is not good to have any extra lights or lamps or whatever you call. So the whole idea is that one shouldn't do israf. Muslims should live in a very, in a rational way, that they are going to have light according to the need. If there is a need, there is a light. But if there is no need, so there is no need of turning so many bulbs and so many tubes and so many lights everywhere unnecessarily, because that is israf. But have light whenever you need. It is also highly recommended to turn off the lights when you go to sleep. So then turning off the lights is highly recommended. It is in hadith and highly recommended that when you buy a new home, then you should arrange a walima, and this walima is not walima of wedding, this is walima of a new home. So when you buy a new home, when you move there, so invite your friends, invite your relatives, maybe a few neighbors, to introduce yourself to them, and also let everybody know about your new address. You have moved, you are blessed with, this is a blessing to have your own home, and now you have got a new home. So wherever you have moved, share your joy with others and offer them some refreshments or food or whatever, and give them a da'wat. So this walima is one of those walimas which is highly recommended. Walima is not only for the marriage, by the way. There are 5 walimas in Islam, and the second one is for this new home. Now, one particular plant or flower is mentioned by name, but I think the idea is that one should have some garden or some what you call some plants in or around the home, and engage some time in gardening, having some greenery. The plant which is highly recommended, and we see in tons of riwayat actually. I had difficulty in finding the English word for it. Finally I sought help of my daughter Mutahhare, and she found for me the English word for it. This was chikori. Are you familiar with this plant, chikori? C-H-E, because I was under the impression that this is not a very common name. C-H-E-K-O-R-Y, chikori. Its Arabic or Farsi name is kasni. So it's but in internet we found the name in English dictionary, it was chikori. So maybe I'm not pronouncing it properly, chikori, or maybe in American English it has a different name. So C-H-E-K-O-R-Y. Do you see, Brother Abbas, something? Doesn't come up? Yeah, but so that kasni is highly recommended to grow in home, around home. It's a very blessed kind of flower and greenery. But if you don't find that one, the other ones, but the idea is to have a little garden or to have some plants, greenery, if we can grow and if we can have. That is a good for blessing. When you move into new home, make sure that you have curtains for your door or for your what you call windows. If it's highly recommended to have, actually it is makruh to live in a home where you have windows and you don't have curtains. So curtains are important item even from the time of Imam alayhi salatu wassalam. We are out of time. I have some more issues, but those are mainly about du'as. What du'a you should do when you enter home, what dua you should recite when you leave home, and what dua you should recite to have more blessings and more barakat in your home, what dua you should recite to keep your home and house protected, guarded from the damages, from thieves, from the animals. So those are very recommended du'as. I think I will share with you those du'as and a few more issues inshallah tomorrow. But if you come on time, if you came late, then you will miss. And I will mention all those du'as in the beginning of my lecture. Recite a salawat.